Oh, I forgot the tripod. Don't forget the tripod, you muppet. Right now folks, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate it has been a while, but today is a very exciting day. We are back making content for this channel and we're back out in the van, which is very, very exciting to have it back on the road and be able to go on some proper photography road trips where hopefully I can teach you a little bit of some of the stuff I've learnt along the way. Now, I'm no expert. Please don't think this is a professional photographer giving you a load of advice, because I'm just a person that's been doing it for a brief amount of time, who's got another channel who gets asked lots of questions. So that's what these videos are all about. So please don't think that I'm some sort of pro, but you are precariously balanced on a tripod in the footwell of the van. So I'm gonna park up, we're nearly where we're going, and then I'll explain a bit more about what we're going to discuss in this video. Right, don't fall over. So the whole purpose of this video is really, one, to keep it simple for me, and two, to give you some really simple things that are completely free of charge that I think you can either learn or use that will maybe not necessarily grow your photography quickly, like grow your skills, but it will definitely help your mindset so that you stop getting hung up on other things that slow you down. So I hope that makes kind of some sort of sense. So I've written myself a bit of a list. It's been a while since I made a video for this channel, so yeah, I've written myself a bit of a list. There's the list. If you pause the video there and just read the list, you probably don't need to watch the rest of it, but don't do that. So yeah, as we go for a little walk, many of you know I've been stuck indoors for many weeks now, so we're going to go for a little bit of a walk, middle of the day, so there won't be too much going on, but I was hoping that wouldn't distract me too much from making the video, because I can tend to go, oh, bird of prey, and off I go on a tangent. So yeah, you, me and the list, are going to go for a little walk. Okay, so tip one, and you'll have to excuse me, the wind has really picked up, so I hope you can hear me. But according to my handy piece of paper, which is flapping around in the wind, that's useful, don't try and take good photos. And what I mean by that is, obviously, the first thing you do when you get a brand new camera is you go out and you want to take this epic landscape, or you want to go and capture some like wildlife, like an owl in flight or something like that. And the truth is that although you may not have the camera for it or whatever, you probably don't have the skill set for it. And what tends to happen, oh, it's so windy, hold on, try in here, better? Any better? Who knows? But yeah, what tends to happen is you go off all guns blazing and you put in so much effort, like you'll go up early, you'll hike for miles to get this amazing sunset over this amazing landscape, or you'll spend hours and hours sitting in a hide waiting for the bird to come along, and basically you cock it up, you get it wrong, and then when you get back to your computer and you get all your pictures off, you just get frustrated. So what I mean is, instead of going out for the epic landscapes that you want to get, or the epic shots that you want to get straight away, concentrate on the little things that you can do locally, that you can practice regular and often, rather than trying to overdo it, because what will happen is you'll just get frustrated. So if you have a negative response to something time after time after time after time, eventually you'll see that thing as negative, and what you don't want to be doing is not enjoying your photography. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, don't take good photos. So as you can probably tell, it's not a great day weather-wise today. It's interchangeable, grey, cloudy, rain, extremely windy, which is why Mike is joining us. Now, if you don't know who Mike is, he's that little fluffy thing in the bottom corner of your screen. But yeah, tip number 2 is do not get hung up on expensive gear. Now, what I mean by that is, it's very, very easy in the beginning to go, oh, if I had this lens, or if I had that thing, or if I upped my camera, then I'd be a much better photographer. And the truth is, it won't help. Especially in the beginning. It might help you down the line, but in the beginning, you don't really know what you need. And take it from me, I've spent so much money on external flashes and extra lenses and things I just don't use, because even now I don't yet understand how to use them properly. So yeah, don't get hung up on gear, because all that will happen is you'll have a load more stuff that you use badly, and you'll probably have the ump, because you're like a fair few £100 out of pocket, because let's be honest, photography is an expensive hobby. So don't convince yourself that if you buy a certain thing that you're going to get any better, because in the beginning you won't really understand how to use that. And I'm only getting to the point now, 5 years down the line, where the extra stuff I've bought I might start to really explore and use properly. So yeah, gear. So I'm not sure if this is getting picked up on the camera at all, but not only have we now got wind, we've also got heavy rain, intermittent showers, followed by bright blue skies, followed by, over there's another big rain shower coming. So I'm going to make this quick, because I do want to quickly get the drone up if I can. It is a bit windy. But tip number 3 is light, and how to use it and how not to use it, because it can work against you. So it's completely free to learn, but completely, definitely 100% completely worth learning, because you can use it to your advantage. You can make something very, very boring look very, very nice if you know how to light it, or use the natural light, which is what I do, to your advantage. So for example, you've got sunset, sunrise, the obvious ones, golden hour, but you've also got blue hour, which is before sunrise, after sunset. Fantastic time for photography there. And it's also learning how to not let it ruin your shot, so shooting in too brighter conditions, for example. Glorious sunshine is not always the best time to photograph anything really, because you just get blown out highlights and really dark contrasty shadows. But yeah, take the time to learn light. I'll probably do a video on it at some point, but definitely something that you can do within your photography to improve it. So for example, wildlife photography, if you go out in good light, you know that you can up your shutter speed. If you watch the video on settings, you would know that. You can up your shutter speed, which would capture a bird in flight much, much better than if you tried to shoot it in really, really bad light. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to attempt to get the drone out. What do you reckon? Drone? Should we give it a go?
Like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you.
So I'm not sure if you can tell from the drone footage, I doubt it, but the heavens have opened, so the drone's in, and there's a spot just down here where I think we can find some shelter. Flipping typical, every time I try and film. Oh, I forgot the tripod. Don't forget the tripod, you muppet. Hammering it down, and I made a big cock up because I thought this was much closer, so I reckon I've just jogged, fast walked about a mile to get here. It would have been quicker to go back to the van. I'm absolutely soaked wet through, but as you can probably tell, we are in a bird hide and it is dry, so there's a bonus. But oh mate, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but because of the wind as well, like it's literally blowing across there, so the whole left hand side is absolutely piss wet through. But we'll hang up in here. Looks like it's going to blow over any minute. So whilst we're trapped in here, we might as well do, are we on number 4? Are we on number 4? Yeah, tip number 4 is Focus on composition. Now, I will do a whole video on composition because it does need its whole video. There's a lot to it. But basically, composition is how you frame a shot, where you put things in the foreground, the background, where you put your subject, all kinds of things like that, leading lines. And it is the biggest artistic control that you have over an image, and even over filmmaking if you're filming a B-roll sequence, or even just although this isn't a great example because I've just chucked the camera down because everything's completely wet. But yeah, focus on composition. Now, if you're here for wildlife photography, it's not as easy because you can't place the bird or place the badger or fox or whatever it is. But you can focus on keeping that subject in the centre of the frame so that you have options to compose it afterwards. And if it's a stationary animal, like a bird on a stick, an owl on a stick or whatever, you can do it there. So composition is absolutely key, and it is completely free, and it doesn't matter whether you're shooting with a smartphone, a DSLR, a GoPro, whatever you've got. Everybody has to focus on composition at some point, and it's one of the things I left till later. I got hung up on, like I was saying earlier, buying gear and stuff like that, whereas composition is an absolute thing that you must develop as a photographer. You may have heard people say, oh, so-and-so's got a real eye for photography. Well, that's an ability to compose an image well. So composition is my top tip number 4. So this is quite frustrating as I'm forced to sit in here I've been here for quite a while now. The rain's not stopping and there is wildlife everywhere, but I've not bought my big lens. So it's frustrating, and I don't think the rain's going to stop anytime soon. In fact, I think judging by what's coming, I think it's only going to get worse. So what I'm going to do is chuck all the cameras back in the bag, leg it back to the van, and I'll catch you back there. Piss wet through. Oh, it is good to be back outdoors. Oh, get changed, put the kettle on. So one of the things I love most about having my van back is on these photography trips in weather like this, I can come back, get changed and dry, make a cup of coffee without having to drive all the way home. I think we have one more tip left to go, don't we? Tip number 5. And tip number 5 is, I can't remember. Number 5. I'd consult my notes, but they're piss wet through and soggy and unreadable now. Illegible, I think, is the posh word. What is tip number 5? Preparation. Preparation is key. Now what I mean by that is, obviously, if you're going out to shoot landscapes, maybe work out with which direction the sun's going to come up, go on Google Maps, find a spot that you can get to so you haven't got to walk around for ages when you get there trying to find which way you want to be pointing your camera, etc, etc. With wildlife, study your subject, the habitat, the times of day that they come in and out. Just make sure that you've got as much information as you can with the shot in mind that you're trying to get, so that you haven't got to figure it out when you get there. So preparation, like with all things, is key, I think. So take the time to prepare, find out where the shot might be. I mean, have a look on Google Images. You might find that photographers have been there before. I am absolutely shattered. Oh, you get back out in the field for all of 5 minutes and I'm done in. But yeah, photographers might have been there before, and you might find that there's like 1,000 shots already of that. So you may then not want to go there, and you might want to say, well, what can I do differently? Go on Google, the one where you have a little wander around, and you can sort of see what might be available before you get there. So preparation is my 5th and final tip today that I think will help you improve your photography mindset, if nothing else, which will in turn improve your photography quicker, I think. I hope, anyway. So to recap, do not try and go out and shoot amazing, stunning images straight away. You wouldn't go out and buy a load of woodworking tools and expect by the end of day 1 to make a cabinet. So I don't see why some people think photography is different. It takes time. Do not get hung up on gear. Buying expensive gear is not going to make you a better photographer. Certainly not in the first couple of years anyway. So don't think that going and buy more gear In fact, most people do that as a deflection because they can't be bothered to learn the things that they do need to learn in the first instance. And then concentrate on things you can control that cost you nothing. So composition, light, and your preparation. So make sure if you can do all those 3 things, which like I say cost absolutely nothing and just take a bit of time, you will get so much further, so much quicker, trust me, from someone that didn't do all that straight away and started concentrating on other silly little things. So I hope this video has helped you. I hope it's given you something to think about, and I hope you can take on board the little bits. If not, I hope you've enjoyed walking through the countryside in the wet, windy British May that we seem to be having. It's the worst May I can remember for ages. And yeah, if you like the video, you know the drill, do all the things, and I'll see you guys on the next one.